Across vast regions of the United States, feral hogs have become a growing concern. These animals sweep through farmland with remarkable speed and aggression, damaging crops, tearing through livestock enclosures, and leaving behind barren fields. The financial toll reaches into the millions, making the threat both urgent and persistent. In response, skilled hunting teams have mobilized across the country to reclaim the land and prevent further destruction. Each ambush and pursuit forms part of a larger effort to contain the spread of these invasive animals. The question remains, can these teams maintain the final line of defense? The day's operations began deep in the forests of Oklahoma, where a coordinated hunt marked the opening scene. One hunting group arrived at their designated site at dawn, accompanied by highly trained tracking dogs. As the team split into their respective positions, the dogs were released to follow the scent trails. Within 15 minutes, a clear signal from the pack indicated a confirmed target. The hunters quickly converged on the location, where a wild boar was already struggling to evade the tightening circle of hounds. A clean, well-timed shot brought the animal down instantly, ending the pursuit. Simultaneously, another ambush was underway nearby. At a narrow woodland trail, a common crossing point, one of the hunters maintained his position with complete focus. A wild boar cautiously emerged from the underbrush, unaware of the danger ahead. A single, precise shot ended the encounter before the animal could react. Soon after, additional shots rang out from across the forest, confirming multiple successful interceptions. Elsewhere, another team carried out a textbook takedown. Coordinating closely with their trained dogs, they arrived early and moved swiftly into pre-assigned positions. On the far side of a hill, a wild boar was spotted being pursued. One of the hunters raised his rifle and delivered a carefully aimed shot, neutralizing the threat before the animal could turn or flee. This level of coordination, combined with expert marksmanship, played a key role in maintaining control over the area. In the hills of Missouri, another pursuit unfolded. A large wild boar, estimated at over 400 pounds, came crashing through the brush at high speed. The team responded immediately, positioning themselves to intercept. A series of well-placed shots brought the animal down just beyond a rocky outcrop. Once again, the local farmland was protected from further damage. Wild boars in these regions are known for their intelligence and agility. Even the smallest hesitation can give them enough time to vanish. In one instance, a boar stepped into view, unaware that it had entered a carefully monitored area. With steady hands and a clear line of sight, a single, quiet shot ended the silent standoff. Feral hogs continue to cause extensive damage across rural America. Their sharp tusks and aggressive behavior pose serious risks not only to crops and livestock, but also to human safety. In extreme cases, aerial control methods have become necessary. Helicopter-assisted hunting has proven to be one of the most effective strategies for covering difficult terrain areas inaccessible by foot or vehicle. From the sky, hunters can observe wide tracts of land and respond swiftly to any signs of movement. During one such mission, helicopters lifted off from base and soared across damaged farmland. Below, the scars of destruction were clearly visible: overturned soil, shattered fences, and freshly torn vegetation. A herd of wild boars was spotted near the field's edge. Responding quickly, the helicopter descended, allowing the hunters to begin the chase. With careful aim, gunfire was delivered in short, controlled bursts. Boars dropped one by one, neutralized with precision as they attempted to flee across the field. In another helicopter, a second marksman scanned the terrain below. As the herd scattered, he steadied his weapon, adjusted for movement, and fired. His shots contributed to a wider effort to limit the animals' escape and reduce their impact on the land. From the dense woodlands to the open fields and skies above, every region has become part of a coordinated campaign to protect rural communities and ecosystems from one of the most damaging invasive species in the United States. Across vast farmlands, the threat posed by feral hogs continues to escalate. These animals, known for their resilience and aggression, are capable of inflicting significant agricultural and ecological damage. In some regions, aerial surveillance and ground teams are deployed together to monitor and control their movement. Gunfire rang out across open fields as tracking teams responded swiftly. Although the wild boars moved with remarkable speed, trained marksmen remained focused, intercepting their paths with precision. During one operation, a nearby field became the focal point of the hunt. From a helicopter hovering at low altitude, a hunter took aim. Guided by the pilot's skillful maneuvering, the shooter delivered a series of rapid shots. The wild boars dropped one by one, each shot carefully placed to minimize suffering and stop further destruction. The approach was swift, coordinated, and highly effective. The scene then shifted to another active field, where wild boars had once again begun to cause destruction. The helicopter team responded immediately, adjusting altitude to optimize line of sight. Despite the animals' erratic movements and strategic shifts in direction, the coordinated air-to-ground communication ensured that every attempt to escape was closely monitored. As the aircraft maintained a steady pace above the terrain, another volley of controlled shots rang out. The wild boars, startled and disoriented, scattered in panic. Yet, through strategic placement and aerial tracking, the team succeeded in neutralizing the threat within minutes. The open field, once trampled and torn apart, was once again quiet. In another zone, a similar aerial patrol spotted a new herd near the edge of a harvested field. The helicopter closed in, its rotor noise echoing across the sky. The herd, startled by the approaching aircraft, attempted to flee, but the team responded swiftly. Precise bursts of fire ensured that the animals were stopped before further damage could occur. A growing number of experts now ask, can feral hog populations be controlled without firearms? The answer lies in a combination of intelligence, experience, and adaptable strategies. From automated trapping systems to trained hunting dogs and traditional archery, a variety of techniques are now employed. These methods focus not only on control, but also on ethical wildlife management. Feral hogs are among the most destructive invasive species in North America. With their omnivorous diet and high reproductive rate, a single individual can consume 4 to 5 kilograms of food per day. Their diet includes roots, fruit, seeds, insects, amphibians, and even carrion. In times of scarcity, they have been known to attack livestock and destroy entire crop fields, rice paddies, orchards, and vegetable farms alike, leaving communities vulnerable. In regions where firearms are not used, bow hunting offers a silent yet effective alternative. This method requires immense patience and skill, as success depends on timing and accuracy rather than speed or force. Specialized broadhead arrows are used, designed to maximize penetration while ensuring a swift and humane takedown. In one such account, a herd of wild boars appeared near a muddy pool. A hunter, hidden nearby, maintained complete stillness. As the boars foraged, one presented a clean line of sight. With careful aim, an arrow was released, striking the target. Despite a brief struggle, the animal succumbed to the wound, marking a successful hunt. Elsewhere, another archer tracked a group at the forest's edge. As a boar made a sudden dash into the brush, an arrow narrowly missed. Undeterred, the team pressed forward. More arrows flew through the dense foliage. Several of the animals were successfully intercepted and taken down during the pursuit. In a different location, a wild boar wandered into a clearing, unaware of the danger nearby. At the sound of a faint movement, the animal paused, just long enough for a clear shot. A broadhead arrow was launched, striking directly. The animal collapsed moments later. Its cries echoed briefly before the forest returned to silence. Approaching midday, a large group of wild boars was found gathered near a watering hole. The opportunity was significant. With measured timing, a hunter released an arrow. One of the animals was hit and attempted to flee, but collapsed soon after, separated from the fleeing herd. As temperatures rose, the hunting team paused to rest, remaining alert to any sign of movement. Every effort taken during these missions, whether aerial or on foot, is focused on balancing wildlife conservation with human safety and agricultural protection. This multifaceted approach demonstrates that with the right tools, techniques, and ethical standards, it is possible to manage one of the most destructive species threatening ecosystems and livelihoods across the continent. A massive dark figure suddenly emerged from the undergrowth, its heavy steps rustling through the dry leaves. Drawn in by the bait, a large wild boar unknowingly stepped into a carefully prepared trap. A few more members of the herd soon followed, but attention remained fixed on the largest target. As the animal advanced, the bowstring was drawn tight and released in a split-second decision. The arrow soared through the air and struck the boar with precision. The rest of the herd scattered in a frenzy, leaving clouds of dust in their wake, but the injured animal could not escape. After only a few staggering steps, it collapsed to the ground, silent and still. As dusk approached, yet another opportunity presented itself. The first arrow missed its target, embedding itself into the forest floor, but the second, released with measured focus, found its mark. The sound of wind rushing past was followed by silence, broken only by the final breath of the wild boar. This quiet and calculated approach, using traditional methods such as archery, proved highly effective. With no loud gunfire to disturb the forest, the natural landscape remained undisturbed. In many parts of the United States, including Ohio, wild boar populations are expanding rapidly, leading to extensive crop destruction, ecosystem damage, and increased threats to both rural and urban communities. Several countries have raised alerts about the spread of diseases transmitted by wild boars, many of which pose a serious risk to both livestock and humans. The urgency of response from wildlife control and hunters has never been greater, not only to preserve agricultural output, but also to safeguard public health. Uncontrolled, these animals pose significant dangers. Wild boars are extremely fast, intelligent, and skilled at hiding within dense, leaf-covered forests, making tracking them a difficult task. The confrontation between hunter and wild boar is never a simple one. A single moment of delay can turn a hunter into the hunted. The barking of trained hunting dogs echoed through the trees, growing louder with every second. The animals had clearly caught the scent, and a wild boar was charging directly toward the hunters. Emerging suddenly from a hidden corner of the woods, the boar rushed forward. A shot was fired at close range. The wild boar collapsed immediately, neutralized in an instant. Gunfire echoed throughout the forest, indicating that others had been encountered and stopped by members of the team. This was only the beginning of what would become an intense series of confrontations. In another section of the forest, movement was detected, a dark figure weaving through the trees. A rifle was raised and aimed steadily. Once the boar fully revealed itself, a shot was fired. It collapsed immediately, unable to react. Meanwhile, in a separate location, another hunter tracked a similar target. As the rifle was raised, the boar dashed into view. A single shot dropped it immediately. However, another wild boar suddenly emerged from behind. The hunter responded without hesitation, reloading quickly and firing again. Elsewhere, two wild boars charged through the brush at full speed. Reacting instantly, the nearest team member raised their weapon and fired. The first shot brought down one of the charging animals. The hunt continued with focus and determination. As clouds began to gather overhead, it became critical to locate and intercept the remaining wild boars before rain began to fall. Each decision made in these moments required experience, strategy, and swift reaction, essential traits when confronting one of the most resilient and destructive animals in North America.